So I figured with it being May 4th, I would go over my rankings of all the Star Wars movies from the main saga and tell you what my favorite is from least to most favorite. So getting started, and remember, this is just my opinion, but please go easy on me. So getting started, we have Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. So I don't know what it is about this one. I enjoy the final bit with Emperor and Vader and Luke, but that's really about it. Much like A New Hope, this one really suffers from like overwatching for me, and I really wouldn't mind skipping it if I was to do a rewatch. There's something about this one that really felt formulaic and a little bit too cheesy. That with some of the lines and terrible winks and nods to the camera. It could have been a bit more about like the relationship with like Vader, Luke, and Leia maybe, but I can't discount the death of Yoda and the final scene with Luke and his father reunited after defeating Palpatine, though for me, least favorite, so that's why it's here at ninth. So episode 7, The Force Awakens, comes next. This one was hard to rank, but it's not bad, but it's basically A New Hope, but again. I don't know if it was enough to stand out like on its own. I don't think there was anything here aside from like the death of Solo, which I feel is like super impactful. And the way that they end it with Luke and Rey just sort of staring at each other, it's not really what I was hoping for. I think a lot of people probably also agree. However, I do like the new characters. I like the setup. I like the Rey, Finn, and Kylo fight at the end was good, but I don't think that Rey had really come into her own at that point to make it stick well. So here it is in 8th. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, is next, with the main draw on this one being the mystery for like who was Jango and the hunt to figure out where the clones came from. The lore that got explored here about Palpatine manipulating both sides, plus you get a massive battle with a bunch of Jedi and the space chase with Obi-Wan and Jango just gives us the right sounds to earn 7th, but not really much more standout than that. Episode 4, A New Hope, is the next one. For me, I feel like it's a classic, and it's the first of the series. It does a lot to set up the story, and it really does have a certain charm to it, but for me, I've just seen it so many times. The scenes that stick out to me are like Luke finding his dead aunt and uncle, and thus giving him the resolve to go on the adventure, and also the scene with Leia, Vader, and Tarkin, resulting in the destruction of Alderaan, and honestly, if there were more impactful scenes like that, and I'm not forgetting like the death of Obi-Wan. This movie could have ranked higher. It just suffers from overconsumption, and that 70s charm puts it in 6th for me. Next is Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. It's a pretty goofy movie with how it's put together, but I really do like the way that they got it started with Episode 1. I like the pod racing, and Darth Maul is really a cool villain, but it's too bad that his coolest stuff gets relegated to side stories. I think the reason I put it at 5th is that I like the setup and the foreshadowing. It introduces a new era well, and there certainly has been worse. Episode 8, The Last Jedi, is next for me. I completely understand this movie is really just a super slow chase scene, but it has a lot more to it than that. The building of a relationship between Rey and Kylo, the training from Luke, Luke's final stand against Kylo when he finally realizes that he's not completely useless, just because he failed one time. And then there's like the whole fight with Kylo and Rey and the death of Snoke, all happening around one of the coolest uses of hyperspace I've ever seen. I do wish I could trim some stuff out, but it's really not that bad. Plus, I do appreciate them killing off older characters to give the newer ones a chance to shine. Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, comes next. While it does do some things weird, I really do appreciate how it is trying to bring everything together. Yes, Emperor somehow surviving is wild, but if you've read the extended universe stuff, you know that this isn't entirely impossible. Yes, the whole Rey and Kylo thing is also weird, but I gotta admit, they both played it well. This takes 3rd, if not just for the fact that the whole crashed Death Star fight scene and the scene where Kylo reconciles with Han really kind of left an impact on me, and I really like that. So next we have Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. A very close second for just how dark and sad it can be at times. I love the lead up to Anakin going to the dark side, though I wish there was more time to flesh out his and Obi-Wan's relationship, and even Palpatine and Anakin's relationship. The final scene is just so outrageously fun, and I think that of the mainline series, the intro space battle is just tops. Even just the level of memery that Episode 3 has produced is amazing. If only we could know more of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Empire Strikes Back. So episode 5 from the original trilogy is just in out of all of them just tops. For me, it's like the space scenes, the drama, the revelations about major characters, hints at more plot, romance, and actual real danger and consequences. If I were to watch any one of these on repeat, it'd be Empire. I haven't even touched on like the Hoth stuff, Vader's most excellent triangle spaceship, and like slugs hiding in asteroids. There's just too much here. I just love how it ends on such a bittersweet note. There's just no way for me that it wouldn't be my number one. But anyway, on a closing note, none of these movies are terrible. This is just, my opinion based on what I look for in a good story, but please, by all means, enjoy these movies in your own way. I will say that if I were going to give any of these like a 1 through 10 like number score, they'd all score at least 7 or higher. So take everything I said with a massive grain of salt. Anyway, let me know what you think down below, as I'm sure the people will. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.